I appreciate the thought, but it would be better to let her rest for now, the nurse says. She'll be let back to her dormitory room this evening, so you could visit her then. I agree with him before standing. It feels like all I can ever do around the nurse is humbly agree to what he says, but it was the same with the doctors in the hospital, too. The walk back to the classroom is a long one, my mind feeling heavy under the weight of so many things happening so suddenly. Even as I re-enter the classroom, I'm thinking about Hanako. My stomach feels like it's turning into knots while I think about how to deal with her. I still don't know what I'm going to say when I see her again. Thankfully, the class doesn't pay me much heed. There are a couple of questioning glances, but overall, not many people seem to be very aware of what happened. Muto raises his eyebrows to get my attention when I pass by his desk. Nakai, I take it Ikazawa is in the infirmary now. Yeah, I took her there, and the nurse said I should let her rest. Muto nods, assuring me that I made the right call. He scratches his chin for a few seconds before rising from his desk. Everyone, I want you to continue with the exercise. Nakai, I'll see you in the hallway, please. His speech is hushed, but overall he doesn't seem to be acting too differently from how he usually does. Being a teacher, maybe it's to be expected. As we go out into the hallway, I notice him taking a quick glance left and right to check if there are any students milling about. The hallway is nearly soundless, but I can't think of anything except waiting for Muto to speak. Nakai, what do you think the purpose of this school is? To cater to the needs of disabled students, I answer. Muto scratches his head as he shakes it. No. If we wanted to do that, we would have built a whole new school from scratch. One floor, talking whiteboards, that kind of thing. Look around, Nakai. This school is about giving you all a future that you would have been denied in regular education. Huh? Think of it this way. If we wanted you to graduate and go straight into a hospital, do you think we'd put in this much effort? The bluntness of Muto's statement temporarily stuns me, causing me to forget about the immediate situation. No, I answer. That's right. We want you all to leave here as useful members of society. I'm still puzzled. I'm not quite sure I'm following you. I have high hopes for you, Nakai. You are possibly the first student that I've had that gets my lectures. That isn't something that a teacher should be admitting so freely. You could easily take your studies of science well into university. Have you ever considered that? I can't say I have, I answer. Well, what have you considered? For your future, that is. I can't say that I've put much thought into my future. For a moment, I'm distinctly reminded of Lilly questioning me about the same subject. It's only been a little over 5 months since I was gasping for air on the ground. It's too soon to be thinking about the future, and besides, Hanako's problems seem much bigger to me now. Muto gives me a disapproving sigh before continuing. Think of this place as an opportunity, he says. Here you have boundless facilities, good teachers, plus the added bonus of the nurse and his staff. You should be doing nothing but thinking of the future. Right, I answer. As I raise my head to meet his gaze, a thought occurs to me. It's almost like Muto totally sidestepped the issue at hand. Excuse me, I say, but why do none of the staff seem to care when Hanako skips class? I've seen you watch her walk out of class more than once. Shouldn't you at least say something? Muto answers, well, Nakai, it's not really that simple. Every student here has special needs. If it weren't for that, then we wouldn't have a school here. For example, I wouldn't keep you in class if you were having trouble breathing, would I? But that's not... Muto cuts me off before I can even think about finishing my sentence. Ikazawa's case is very much like that. but instead of CPR or pacemaker, what she needs is time and space. The faculty was made aware of this from the day she arrived here. Thus, whenever she feels the need to leave class, we all let her do so. And even though she isn't a star pupil, she seems to pass all of her exams, so it hasn't affected her ability to study. Isn't that enough? I opened my mouth to protest, but I can't find a fault in his argument. While her condition does at first seem to be wholly physiological, its worst effects have been on her psyche. It still puts me off, though. Isn't he just passing on the responsibility for her problem? Surely she can't go like this for her entire life. I understand that you might not be used to this kind of thing yet, he says. It's been a big change for you. That said, it's less than a year until graduation now. Maybe you won't have to get used to this school. If you keep your head down, I'm sure you'll do well enough in your exams. I numbly nod, more to simply acknowledge that I'm listening than out of agreement. I felt like I was getting used to this school, but it feels like it's just been thrown back in my face. I say, but what about Hanako? I believe, well, I hope, he says, that she will perform well enough to do what she wants to do. What that is, I don't know. Not all students leave school with an idea of what they want to do, unfortunately. He takes care to emphasize the last word, as if it wasn't quite clear enough already, and gives me a moment to mull his words over. Today's been a troublesome day for you, and I doubt you'd be able to concentrate much anyway after all that's happened, so I'll allow you to take the rest of the day off. Your grades have been good in this class so far, which makes me think you won't have any trouble catching up on what we've been doing. He gives a small smile with his praise, as if to make up for the seriousness of his lecturing before now. Go collect your things, and I'll see you tomorrow. Right, I say. Thank you. Muto's roundabout speech has left my thoughts scattered. I'm still not any closer to working out what I can do to help Hanako, if anything, and my mind is all the more confused after what Muto said. I'm also still bothered by the fact that Hanako was helped at least as much by Shizune, her enemy by proxy, as by myself, but I don't know whether that is just male bravado or a genuine concern. While I collect Hanako's and my things from the class, I continue to try and sort out my feelings. I want to say that I understand her and that I'm there for her, but while I might have been able to say that just yesterday, I can't say it now. I wish I could. I lay on my bed trying to collect my thoughts. After Hanako's panic attack, I found myself fundamentally reassessing the relationship we share and what I know about her. I had a hard enough time dealing with 4 months in the hospital. One look at her scars tells me that she was in one for a lot longer than I was. Be that as it may, I know next to nothing about her past. She has told me about the house fire, but only in the most basic way. And what of her family? I still haven't asked Lilly about them. There hasn't been a good opportunity to bring it up. I don't know where she grew up or what her old school was like, nor of her past friends, her wishes and ambitions, nor even her taste in music, food, and movies. All the little things that I knew about all my old friends. Just what have I been doing for all this time I've been with her and Lilly? In the distance, I hear the bells signaling the end of classes. With any luck, Lilly will soon realize that neither Hanako nor I are around and return to the dormitories. My mobile phone starts to ring, cutting my thinking short. It quite startles me, as I've rarely been called since coming to Yamaku. Hello, Hisao Nakai speaking. Oh, Hisao, I'm glad I found you. You weren't at any of our usual places, so I thought this would be the fastest way to contact you. I probably should have guessed it would be Lilly, as she's one of the few people I've given my number to. Even through the phone, her voice sounds slightly on edge. I Hanako and I left class early. She had some kind of panic attack. The line goes silent. If it weren't for the background static, I would have thought Lilly had hung up on me. I understand, she finally says. Could you come by my room? I'd like to talk with you. Sure, I'd appreciate the chance to have a bit of a talk, actually. Good. I also have some bad news. I think we should discuss this in person. It's hard to grasp the seriousness of the situation from Lily's tone. She sounds so calm most of the time, but that could be a good or a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. Okay, I say, I'll be right there. I collect Hanako's school things from my desk and head straight for Lily's room. I rap my knuckles on her door, and she soon calls me in. Lilly sits at the table inside her room, looking a little worse for wear. I guess that's because of the bad news. Following her gesture of invitation, I sit across from her and lay Hanako's things on the table. Well, there's no point in either of us waiting. Would you mind going first, Hisao? What happened today? My memory of the incident is already beginning to fade, but I explain it as best I can to Lilly. Inviting Hanako to work with the group, Shizune and Misha's questioning, our foray to town getting discovered, and the subsequent panic attack. I add Shizune's reaction almost as an afterthought, but Lilly seems to take some kind of comfort in hearing about it. I guess rivals don't become rivals for no reason. There must be some history there, but now isn't the time to explore it. I see. She had said her therapist sessions were helping, but I had my doubts. It's quite a shame. Her birthday has caused problems before, but I had hoped that she would have improved with you around and the more intensive therapy. Where is Hanako now? I tell her, last time I saw her, she was in the infirmary. I guess she's gone back to her room by now. She wasn't in the library or the tea room when I checked, so I can only assume that too. You said you also had some bad news, I say. What's the matter? Does it concern Hanako? Lilly shifts her position, the body's way of saying she's searching for the right words. My aunt has fallen gravely ill. I'm afraid I'm going to be heading back to Scotland to visit her and to spend some time with my family. What? Is she all right? When do you leave? I'm not altogether sure of exactly how she's faring at the moment, though last I heard she was stable. I'll be leaving Saturday. It's the earliest flight that I could get. Stable. That's code for needs to stay in the hospital. I've been stable long enough to know that, and to know that it doesn't necessarily mean someone is in good condition, but merely treading water. On the upside, stable is much better than critical condition. At least she's not on the brink of death. Stable, I say. That's a relief. Yes, but this means that I won't be here for Hanako's birthday. I wanted to tell you now so we could think of something before we told Hanako, but after today's events, I'm not even sure if there's going to be an issue if we simply cancel the party. I don't think that is such a good idea, I say. Hanako already knows that we were planning a party now. To go back on that seems like the wrong thing to do. Also, we should do something for your going away, right? You make it sound as if I won't be coming back, she says. If all goes well, I should only be away for a week, though possibly 2. That's one relief, at least. With that in mind, what do you suggest then? I think a bit. Given the circumstances, I don't think karaoke is really appropriate. You're not going away for the greatest of reasons, so having too much fun would feel wrong. What did you do for her birthday last year? Last year, I literally couldn't get her out of her room. She'd locked the door. All I could do was leave food outside for her, making sure that she was at least eating well. This is perhaps the most depressed I've ever seen and heard Lilly act. I feel sorry for her, given how defeated she must feel to be unable to help her closest friend. Perhaps it would be better to throw the party before you leave then, I say. That does sound like it would be the easiest option. I think we should at least tell Hanako both about your trip and her party, I tell her. I have her things from class as well. That's a good point. Should we go and visit her now? I think that would be a good idea, I finally say. Part of me is dying to see Hanako. The last time I saw her, she looked like death walking, and these last few hours have torn me apart just thinking about that. We quietly get up and file out of Lily's room. Hanako's room is next door in the same hallway. Knocking lightly gets us no response, but the door proves to be unlocked. Lilly pauses for a moment as the handle unexpectedly moves under her hand before opening the door. Hanako's room is startlingly bare and monotone. There are no decorations on the plain white walls, a plain dark blue blanket, and only a few books, papers, and purely utilitarian items on the shelves. Even her bed sheets are monochrome. The entire room feels as subdued as Hanako's character. Hanako herself is lying curled up on her bed. She may not be crying now, but her eyes are closed tightly to stop herself, and the tracks left by her tears still sit on her reddened cheeks. I quietly walk in and set her bag down on her desk, afraid of startling her too much. Hello, Hanako. Hisao told me about what happened today. Are you all right? Hanako's eyes open, though only a little. I'm okay. She tilts her head slightly to look at me, noticing my grimacing before I can hide it. Sorry for making you worry. Really, I'm fine now. She really doesn't look nor sound okay, though at least she seems more calm than she was before. She still looks as if the slightest breath could emotionally break her. Hey, I said it before, right? You don't need to be sorry for this, I tell her. Hisao's right. I shouldn't have hidden something like a birthday celebration from you. I see Hanako shiver at the word. Lilly picks up on the silence that follows and crouches down to Hanako's level. I'm the one who should be sorry, Hanako, she says. Hanako's eyes open to peer at Lilly. She looks at Lilly for some time, taking in her face with those dark, analytical eyes of hers. Lilly must have made the right impression on her as Hanako recovers enough to prop herself up on the bed and shift to sitting on its side. Hanako worries about many things, but troubling others is foremost among them. Hearing Hanako's shuffling, Lilly moves forward and feels out the side of the bed, eventually taking a seat beside her and taking Hanako's left hand in both of hers. The feeling of me being out of place when the two are together has lessened in the time that we've known each other, but it's still occasionally very much there. This is one of those times, I think. I say, Lilly, if you want me to go... I don't want that, Hanako says. Lilly and I are both surprised at Hanako mustering her courage. A half-mumbled, okay, is all I can give her in reply, and I take her desk chair to sit in. Hanako, I'm afraid I have some bad news, Lilly starts. So she's going to break the news now. With Hanako having affirmed our relationship so clearly, perhaps Lilly thought the timing was good, or at least as good as it ever will be. My aunt has fallen ill, so I need to return to my family for a time. Concern replaces Hanako's remorseful expression. Your family? You mean in Scotland, right? That's right. Akira and I will be leaving Saturday. So you're going away? I won't be gone for long, probably only a week or two. I'll be back before you know it, and Hisao will be here, right? That's right, I say. I'm not going anywhere. Hanako seems to take only minor comfort in this, but she does manage to summon some resolve from somewhere inside her. Is your aunt going to be all right? I'm not sure, Lilly says. Silence falls. It's depressing that the thing to truly bring Hanako out of her rut is another's misfortune. I decide to bring up the other matter that brought us here to distract at least in part from the dismal feeling permeating the room. Anyway, we were thinking that it would be a good idea to have a going-away party for Lilly, and it could double as... yeah. I cut myself off before mentioning her birthday, as that seems to be a trigger for such fierce emotions within her. Lilly gives Hanako's hand a gentle squeeze. Is it all right by you, Hanako? It won't be anything lavish or overdone, just something small in my room. So, just in the school? Just us, she asks. That's right, just the three of us. If you like, I could ask Akira to come as well. Oh, okay. You're only going for a week? 1 week or 2, yes. I promise you it won't be any longer. Oh, okay, she answers. Most people would be upset at hearing about a friend's family member falling ill and happy at having a party, but with Hanako it seems that both events are on the same level. All right then, I say, you look like you could use a rest, Hanako, so it might be best if we all went back to our rooms for now. You know that if you ever want anything, you can always talk to me or Hisao, right? Lilly asks her. Her voice is pensive, an unusual edge for someone as confident in herself as she. I understand. Thank you, Lilly. Hisao. Well then, good night, Hanako. Night, she says. I let out a long breath after the door closes behind us. It feels a little like I've been deep underwater and only now have been able to come up for air. Lilly doesn't seem to be doing well either. She looks pale and drawn. Are you all right? I ask. I'm just a little tired. It's been hectic recently. Have you slept at all? A little tired sounds like an understatement given how you look. I think I managed to get a couple hours of sleep before class. I'll be okay. I feel bad about pressing Lilly right now. I think both of us are pretty tired from everything that's happened as well. I think you should get some rest, I say. It's been a big day, and staying up isn't good for your complexion. Thank you for your concern, Hisao. Good night, then. Okay, night, Lilly. I leave Lilly in the hallway as she opens the door to her room and begin to make my way back to my own. As I walk down the quiet hallway, I can't get that image of Hanako out of my mind, huddled and pitiable, lying helpless with tears on her cheeks. I began to think that she was just a normal, if extremely shy person, but her problems run much deeper. Trying to take our relationship further than what we share now when she's so fragile and vulnerable wouldn't be right. I don't need to be more than her friend in order to protect her, to try and stop anything like this ever happening again. The possibility of my feelings for her going beyond that doesn't matter anymore. Hanako is precious to me, and that's why I can't take advantage of her. But even so, there's still that sting when I think that way. For now, I need to sleep. Tomorrow, hopefully, will be a better day. So, returning to class, Nakai asks us how things are going with Hanako and whether we got her to the infirmary. And then he brings up our plans after school once more. We've mentioned that, I think, in the spoilers of the last episode where we talked about Nakai Hisao possibly becoming a school teacher. And here's part of it again where Muto talks to him and says, you excel at science. You really should think about bringing this on into your university life and be thinking about what doing after that. And we also find out why Hanako, as if we didn't know, but Hisao is not the brightest thing in the world. We've discovered before. He's a little slow when it comes to figuring stuff out, why it is that she is allowed to leave at class at will. Then we get a phone call from Lilly asking us if we could meet her because of some bad news. Combination of her leaving to go to visit her sick aunt, something that also happens during the Lily path as well. I said you find as you go along that all these paths are pretty well interconnected for having had 5 different authors. And then we also decided it's a good idea to go in and talk to Hanako and let her know about the birthday surprise and all and what the plans are going to be for it. Seeing as Lily tells us that the previous birthday she locked herself in the room and would not even come out for several days. Entering Hanako's room, we find her crashed on her bed in a rather pitiable state and recovering from both the stress and exhaustion of having had the panic state, and probably also tons of social anxiety and embarrassment from knowing that it happened in the class and worried about how people are going to react. She takes the news of Lily's leaving not too bad, agrees that we can have a small private party in Lily's room, and then we proceed on to the next day, which we will post next time.